Last fall, many of us watched in horror as the remnants of Hurricane Helene created deadly flooding in the mountains of western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. In some cases, small mountain communities were washed away, leaving little proof that they had ever been there before the storm.
So true to the spirit of Delmarva, many in the area collected donations, trying to lend assistance to those who lost everything. And when the call came out for someone to transport donations of hay to farmers in the flooded area, there was a Fruitland truck driver that answered. Now with 15 trips on his logs, he says he can't imagine not helping those affected get their lives back. That's because it's made such a profound impact on his life.
Oh my gosh, that is a storm.
The images coming out of North Carolina last fall were gut-wrenching.
But there's your devastation at its finest right there.
Stevie Stevenson of Fruitland says the destruction he saw was far worse.
I don't think the average person still at this point, 3 months after the fact, still have any idea how devastated it still is there.
Well, when you've got cows, they don't require as nice a hay.
Stevenson, with a trailer full of donated hay, made his first trip to North Carolina 2 weeks after the storm.
And they needed somebody with flatbed to do it. I said, well, I have flatbeds and I've done this kind of thing before. So I went down and made 2 trucks went together with the other 7 trucks that went in a convoy. And we went to the town of Marion, North Carolina, and delivered to a central location.
Carrying an 80,000-pound plus load across highways barely passable.
They were plowing mud and trees off Interstate 40 with snowplows, and the mud was up on the signs. Well, as we went to the warehouse, we got as close as we could, and we delivered and unloaded. But the next time we went, probably a few days later, they were getting the roads cleared up more, but there was probably 10,000 trees in 50 miles that was blowed out on Interstate 40, and they just cut them off with a chainsaw right at the edge of the white line. So if you moved over the white line in a vehicle, you were doomed. You were going to hit trucks as big as round as I am.
He's made more than a dozen trips since.
So all the major roads are fixed now. And then we got so we could go up to Asheville and go on around to the other town of Burnsville.
On the top are only 4 feet in diameter.
The hay goes to farmers who struggled to feed what livestock they had left following the floods.
Every time that I've been, when I get there with a load of hay like this, by the time I get the straps off the load and they start unloading me with a tractor, there'll be a dozen pickups, small trucks lined up, waiting to get a few bales so they can carry it home and feed their animals.
Each trip to the affected areas is about 600 miles one way, taking about 11 hours, costing Stevenson about $1,500 in fuel alone.
It's not cheap, and that's no money to the truck itself or me for my time, but that's okay.
Fortunately, the community is stepping up to offset those costs.
Whether it's $15 or $100 or $1,000, whatever, I tell them all the same thing. Thank you for helping me help these people.
It's people like you that's allowed me to keep going and helping them people. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me help them people.
In fact, as Stevie took me for a ride in his truck, someone managed to flag him down to hand off another donation.
Well, thank you so much for running me down.
I was coming to your house, but then you pulled out just so I pulled out there.
Stevenson is not sure how many more trips he'll make to North Carolina.
You leave here and drive 12 hours and you get down there and you're just dog tired. And you have a lady walk up there and tell you thanks for coming today, because thanks to you I'm gonna get some sleep tonight. I won't have to listen to my 85 cows beller all night long because they ain't had nothing to eat in 4 days. That'll make you want to go again.
It's a feeling, he says, he's never felt in his 71 years on this earth.
If you robbed a bank, you couldn't take the money and buy that kind of feeling nowhere in this world. So that's what drives me. This truck originally had 430 horsepower when it was new.
A drive that with each mile, each bale of hay, brings those in need closer to getting back on their feet again.
Now, last month, the cold winter weather hit that area hard. Stevie says that when some of the donated hay was used to put under campers and trailers, I understand they're using that for temporary housing and it helps keep them warm. So If you would like to help Stevie, we've got his information on our website, delmarvalife.com. All you have to do is click on what's happening today.
What a great thing he's doing. I can tell you, we stayed in a beautiful home in North Carolina that had a bridge. We were going down there for a wedding, and that house was affected. The whole bridge was wiped out. They had a GoFundMe page up, and it was just so sad to see the aftermath at a beautiful place we just stayed in June.
Wow.
It's crazy.